Joe Biden has a problem. He cannot stop telling voters to go vote for other people. This is such a classic Joe Biden issue. I'll be honest with you guys up front. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not like, I know I'm supposed to be mad, but I'm like, that's sort of what's up. That he's just, that he's just telling people, go somewhere else. I relate to that like angry old man energy. Anyway, let's watch.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm running for, in this case, running for president of the United States. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other person.
Over those 8 years, there were 3 million people that were deported and separated from their families. Yeah. We had this classification of families.
You should vote for Trump.
Families.
You should vote for Trump.
I'm not going to do that.
What are we going to do about climate change? Now, you say you're against pipelines, but then you want to replace these gas lines. That's not going to work. We got to stop building and replacing pipelines.
You got to go vote for somebody else. Well, I tell you what, if you look at my record and you still doubt about my commitment, then you should vote for somebody else. I'd love to make sure we can't use any oil or gas, period, now. Is it possible?
Yes.
Well, you ought to vote for somebody else. I'm not voting for you. Well, I knew you weren't, man. You think I thought you'd stand up and vote for me? You're too old to vote for me.
I don't even know what that last one meant. He's, yeah, of course you're not going to vote for me. You're too old to vote for me. Joe, almost all your supporters are old. I don't know what that one means at all. Not even close. But anyway, the reason why Vice News made this compilation is that there was a new example of this. The guy who was asking him about climate change, and he was like, go vote for somebody else. And he put his like finger on him or something. And it was interesting because the dude wasn't even being mean. He was just like mildly saying like, hey man, like I'll definitely vote for you in a general election. And actually randomly he's a freaking Tom Steyer supporter. We found him. We found the one Steyer supporter. But yeah, Joe like he snapped. He got so angry really quickly. He was like, well, fine, go vote for somebody else. He's like, bro, I just said I'd vote for you in a general election. I have no problem doing that. But here's my main issue is climate change. And so here's why I think it's super important. And Joe's like, you better vote for somebody else. What are you doing, bro? So listen, on the one hand, I actually enjoy this because it's funny. And I definitely relate to that like ornery old man energy that like I don't care. There's a healthy streak of I just don't give a fuck running through this, which is that sort of gangster. So I like that. But then on the other hand, and this is where the serious part of the conversation comes in, there's a mindset here. And the mindset isn't just the fuck it, which is the part I like. The mindset is also, guys, he genuinely thinks that there's like an endless pool of support for him. And so in his mind, if he tells, a bunch of voters to piss off, he thinks like, I don't need you. I'm leading anyway, bitch. Like, I'm entitled to this shit. And that is like the Hillary mindset as well. That feeling of like, everything is just kind of noise and it's just a speed bump in the way. And like, freaking Bernie, who's really close to me in the polls, like, whatever. Like, can we just get past this already and anoint me and do my coronation? Where I become our wonderful nominee, yes, and then I get obliterated by Trump, yes. But that's his mindset. He thinks like, yeah, whatever, minor details. A couple voters won't support me, piss right off. But the thing is, like, Joe, first it was 1 voter, then it was 2 voters, then it was 3 voters. Now you're on like 6 or 7, and this is just the ones that were caught on tape. Like, bro, at some point, ain't nobody left, and you just told the entire country to piss off. So that's the serious angle of the conversation, is that the mindset here is also that of entitlement. And that like, well, since I have endless support and since I'm guaranteed this anyway, you could fuck right off. And I think in Joe Biden's mind, it's like, he's thinking like, no, you're signing up for my shit. You're signing up for my shit. Whereas Bernie, his whole thing is like, not me, us. So in other words, like, come talk to me. What are your concerns, voter? And the vote, hey man, I got medical bills and I can't freaking afford them. We're going to wipe out the medical bills. We're going to do Medicare for all. That's what we're going to do. So in other words, with the voters and Bernie, it's like Bernie is going to where the voters are. Like, hey, tell me what's concerning you and let's address this. And that's why he's such a great candidate, is that he's like, let's fix problems. Whereas Joe Biden's like, I want to be president and here's some good, nothing centristy things I want to do. And then when a voter's like, hey, here's my concern, he's like, I don't care. You're signing up for my thing. I'm not signing up for your thing. Oh, man. Oh, Joe. What are we going to do with you? I mean, listen, I hate to say it, but in many ways, this is mirroring the Trump primary in 2016, in that the establishment for the longest time didn't take Trump seriously. Trump kind of was building strong support, and then it got to the point where when they tried to stop him, it was too little too late. We're seeing a lot of that happening in this Democratic primary. For the longest time, they weren't really going hard at Bernie. They were still smearing him, but it was here and there, but they didn't really take him seriously. Now they just realize, oh my God, he could win. Oh my God, he could win. And this is their best other option, is Joe Biden, who in many ways reminds me of Jeb Bush. Like, Jeb Bush, to be fair, was way worse in that he fell off immediately. Biden's hanging on for dear life, but like, it's hard to imagine him hanging on because he's barely coherent. He's barely coherent. So you would imagine at some point it's got to just totally fall off. And so the parallels are there, and the parallels are striking. Maybe it's more of a mix of like Jeb Bush or Joe Biden is Jeb Bush mixed with Hillary Clinton, because Hillary still like had that lead, and then Bernie was closing in on it, and she barely hung on with the help of the DNC. So I don't know. We'll see what happens this time, but man, the Joe Biden stories they give me a mix of emotions. This one in particular was like, I related to it, but at the same time, I also saw that he feels super entitled, and that's the downside of this.